All right, so we're gapping lower this morning. Europe's down. We zoom out a little bit here on the SPYs. You can see that even with the gap lower this morning, we're nowhere near last week's low. And we're coming into this kind of support area. We're below this morning. It's 241.60-ish or so. So this is going to be the spot to watch. So if we pop in the pre-market or even into the open up here, then we take out 241.60, then we can start to look for something deeper, perhaps a little bit closer to last week's low. We rip to the upside and we start holding above 242.5, then that would interest me as well. These are the levels I'm using here, 242.5 on the upside. 242 would be the first spot. And the shallower the pop here and takes out pre-market low, you look for the down move. IWM yesterday treated us quite well. Was able to pick it up at here and sell it and short it. And apparently, when I was off the desk, it took out the morning low and then went back up to resistance. So this was actually pretty good intraday movement. Easily in a range, 60 cents. It was like a 90-cent range. It failed here a bunch of times. So we're gapping lower this morning. If we do bounce up, this 141.50 to 141.60 now becomes a spot we want to look for failure. Now in this case, we are down by the lows from last week. So this is showing relative weakness to the SPYs after showing relative strength on Monday. That was weird. Pre-holiday. So we're right back down here. What I put on the sheet? 139.70. It's 139.60, 139.70. So, and then the other thing to keep an eye on is on the Qs, which are coming into where they've bounced a few times from as well. So when initially they put the high in here, that it flushed down to, actually went through 136 and 135.5. And then this, I guess, was after hours pre-market. Yesterday's pre-market was tested that and then ripped up $2. So the way I would look at this one is, does it make a higher low here? So 136 to 136.15 area, does it hold there and get back above 136.40? Then I'd be looking for it to pop again. It is making lower highs here. So not a lot in play. We did have same-store sales and retail. So the two ones that stood out were Costco, which had really big number. If we go to the daily, we know that this started to come off when Amazon made the announcement that they were buying Whole Foods. And so it's in this just very wide uptrend channel in the last few years. Oops, yeah, that's wrong. And so, it came in. It started to come into this area where it looked like maybe it was going to fill this gap from their earnings back in December of last year, which would have taken it down to 153. And then maybe if it doesn't actually go up on these really good numbers today, maybe it just wants to finish that gap fill. But let me just say, if it gets down to 152 to 155, you want to buy 165, 170 calls out probably a month, 6 weeks, something like that. That's going to be should be a pretty nice bounce play. Now for today, so it failed to hold above 62. But I put those in 63 and 65. Those are the real levels. So I guess right on the open, if it gets sold a little bit and buyers step in here at 160, you buy it. You can play it for move to 62 to 63. If it bounces up quickly on the open and consolidates up above 62 and then breaks it higher again, buy it again, and see if it can put in a larger move to the upside. But mentally, you want to be prepared for either that gap fill from last December or for this really strong same-store sales number to be the catalyst that puts in the bottom. And I will take a look at CERU. Let's just take a look at LB first. So this is another same-store sales play, the opposite of cost. Here's the daily. And this was 9% down, and it's down about 7.5%. So the first thing that catches my attention here is it's already down 50% from the high. So how much of that same-store sales number was already factored in? It's bounced about 20% in the last few months from the low. I guess my initial lean is that it's probably not a great short in terms of having much downside. I mean, I could see coming into 49 here, maybe even a little bit lower to here. I would think stock cut in half. It's likely that a lot of this bad news is already factored in. Let's see, I don't know. It's $13. 6.5. That puts it at 48.50, which is right in between here. So I'm just calculating reducing half of this up move from the low on these weak numbers would take it to 48.50. So I suppose if you get a failure pop on the open, above 50, and then you short it, you can make up $1.5, $2 play to the downside. It's only traded 70,000 shares, so not a lot of good info. But basically, the thought process is a lot of this news should be factored in, so you can get an up move on the open, and then you want to see what does it do against the pre-market support. Does it flush through another $1 or so there, and then come back to 50 and consolidate, and you go from there, or does it do one of these, pull back to this, and then take this out? And if you see it holding about 51, you just want to be careful about putting it on the short side. And play it for a move back to here. And so CERU. So why are we looking at this? Let's see. Right. Okay. So I guess, I don't know, did we play this back here when it did this move the desk probably? Let's see. Biotech, leak, blah, blah, blah. Biotech ETFs. There's a big Wednesday, up over 140%. So people are piling into this. So the normal play on the desk in these situations is guys will try to get in there early and catch the long. But usually it's a complete pump and dump situation, which means they push it up and then it goes back down to where it came from. So in this case, you can see the last time they took it up from $1 to $3. They probably did a secondary and they took it back down to 30 cents. So the reason why guys like to trade these on the desk is we're competing against retail as opposed to machines, and we're going to have better trading skills than retail and not have to worry about all the algorithmic trading programs and market making programs. So from a pure technical standpoint, yesterday is day one. If it's holding above $1 today, probably people will look to trade it on the long side. If it gets above yesterday's market close, they'll look for it to kind of make a trade back up to 130, 140 and see if it fails. If it fails up here and then starts to hold back down below 120, people will trade it for the move to go all the way back down. If it rips up on the open and spends time consolidating above 120 and then breaks to the upside again, guys will be trading it on the long side. Most likely you'll see Sharp and Swang in there, and there'll probably be a few other guys. You'll have my mic on. I may not be on the desk, but you may hear people talking about it as well. And then Tesla. So Tesla, this is an example of the opposite. We saw it get very short-term overbought. Now it's very short-term oversold. It's erased more than 2/3, I think, of what you would consider the breakout. Yeah, I did in the pre-market buy it at 316. So, yeah, right. So the idea is the more oversold it gets, the bigger the bounce you look for, and the better shape you'll be in in terms of if you get involved. So you get involved in a day like today, when it comes back into this like 306 to 317 area, where it kind of broke out above back April 25th. And it had this, it failed here at 330. They flushed it below 300. This was probably the best entry point since the breakout in the beginning of April, where it flushed below 300. They brought it into this clear support on the daily at 295. And then it ripped up $80. So most of this breakout now the majority of this breakout has been erased. What you want to see is if you get involved in here 316 or lowers, you want to see this close back above 325, whether that's today or tomorrow. Doesn't really matter. Once you get the close above 325, it makes a move back up to 340, 350 a lot easier. And if you scale out and get down to a reasonable size position, then you probably can, ride that thing all the way back up to the all-time high, if that's what we're going to see, which there's a pretty good chance that can happen, unless there's some real bad news over the next few months. So let me zoom in. What you want to do is you hope that it actually flushes through the pre-market low when the market opens, and then at that point you'll buy the 325 or maybe even the 330 calls. Let's say the 325s for tomorrow and maybe the 335s for next week. Maybe sell some 305, 300 puts. Nike. So Nike, I just wanted to take a quick look at this since it started to finally come in from 59. So if we go back to earnings day, just want to see what we're looking at here. So I shorted it a couple of days ago at 59, just had a script on. Started to work yesterday. It's had some support from earnings day, right? Earnings day, it broke to the upside, and then it couldn't hold below 57.5. So that's the first thing we want to watch this morning. Does it pop back up close to 58, make another lower high, and does this downtrend continue? It's got to hold below 57.5. And if it does, make a play all the way back down to 56.60 to 56. Perfectly happy to get involved in the long side down here. And then get aggressive when it starts to curl back up and see if it makes the move back up to $58 to $60. I don't have anything else. And as I said, I'm probably going to have to leave the desk shortly. Not sure exactly what time yet, but my mic will be on. You'll have all the trade news in the background. And Tesla is certainly worth most of your attention today. It's short-term severely oversold, and you want to be involved if it has that $10 to $20 bounce off the lows today, and it should turn into a multi-day play. As always, be patient and good luck.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.